Hi, Julia Watts here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be looking at Fairy Hugs Callie's Poppy, and this is one of the Fairy Hugs Flower Fairies sets. There are 22 Flower Fairy sets, and each one has a flower on it and a fairy, and sometimes you get more than one flower, and sometimes you get something like a butterfly or something else that's tiny to go with it. But this one has got a bunch of poppies and then a single poppy, and then we've got Callie who's reaching out to it. And everything I'm going to be using is available on my website juliawattscrafts.co.uk for shipping to UK addresses. Outside of the UK, you can find the Fairy Hugs products at fairyhugs.com for worldwide shipping. Anyway, let's go back to what we're using. So we're using Callie's Poppy. We're also going to be using Fairy Hugs Fairy Words, which has got lots of different sentiments on it. We're also going to be using a paper from the Evening Field paper pad from Fairy Hugs. And these are really lovely. I really like the graduated shades that you get in here. There's also, if you can see, it might be easier on this one, there's like a texture going on with it. But they are completely smooth. They're kind of semi-coated, which means that the ink will go on them, but it doesn't suck that ink up. So it means that if you're stamping silhouette stamps, which a lot of the Fairy Hug stamps are, then it gives you a better chance of getting a good image. So they're 6x6, 24 double-sided sheets, 24 designs, 2 sheets of each, and it's 216 GSM, which is a cardstock. They've got really good flickability. So yes, at Evening Field we're also using the Fairy Florals stencil as well. Those are the Fairy Hugs products, and then the inks we're using are Nocturne and Purple Delight Versafine Clair, and we're also using Picked Raspberry Distress ink. And from Creative Expressions, I'm using the looped squares from Sue Wilson. These are really lovely, huge squares. The largest one is 17.4 by 17.4 centimetres. And with all of Sue's dies, you get inspiration on the inside. So we've got those, couldn't resist those. And we've also got, which is the latest looped design, we've also got the looped ovals from Sue as well. And you can get both of these on my website as special order items. So I think we'll start with our background, and I've got a loop square here, and this has been cut out using the Sentimentally Yours Pure White card, and we're going to ink through our Fairy Floral stencil wherever I put it. There it is. And I've masked off just so I don't get ink accidentally on the outside. The stencil will be a little bit shorter, which is absolutely fine, but we'll just see how it looks. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely beautiful. I think I don't need to ink the whole thing, but I think I'm going to, just so you can see how beautiful it looks. So this is Picked Raspberry and one of the Studio Light inking sponges. I've just got one set of these left at the moment. So if you want it, be quick. So I may well end up grabbing it for myself. So I really like them. I like the fact that they've got a colour to them, so I know that these are always pink. I mean, they're stained pink anyway. I don't mind if this is graduated. I'm inking through with Distress ink rather than Distress Oxide, because I might stamp on top of it. I haven't made my mind up yet. We're just going to go with the flow and see what happens. So as I said, this stencil is called Fairy Florals. Let's try and position that again. You can tape it down if you're worried about it moving. I tend to fly and see how it goes. Isn't that pretty? Really pretty. Obviously that's going to wash off. You could mist that with water and take a print from it. Absolutely do that. Let's put it to one side. And then we'll take off our masking tape. This is the Scotch low tack tape. in the blue box. Really pretty. And then I've got a, oh, what did I do with it? Here it is. And I've got an oval which is going to go on top, which has been cut from the evening field pad. And then we're going to put that onto a piece of black card, and then onto, actually this is a proper card blank. I know, don't faint. This opens and everything. So that's how we're going to construct it. But let's do our main stamping on our image first, obviously, because we want something on our card. So obviously this is an oval, so we're going to struggle to make this stay where we want it to. So we're going to have 97 million magnets. Let's see, ovals are very difficult to actually get them, I won't say straight, because obviously ovals aren't straight, but get them exactly where you want them. So let's find our poppy. I'm going to stamp the poppy first. We need to make sure that we've got enough room for Callie to go on here as well. So that's going to go like that. See, it's been stamped in red before. And then Callie will come in. She'll be coming in, I don't know, maybe down below actually. She might come in like this. And then we've got enough room for a sentiment just above. Okay? But as we're going to do them in different colours, let's actually stamp them kind of one at a time, if you like. But like that did it. Okay, let's put Callie to one side. And we're going to stamp this in Purple to Light, which is, it's not I don't want to do Charming Pink, because Charming Pink is quite a light pink. So I think that this is going to actually tone in nicely with the background. If I can't see it, I'll move to a darker purple, and then I'll probably colour in with the lighter one. But we'll see. If it's not dark enough, we'll move up. We'll probably go to Monarch instead. I have a feeling that it will blend in. This is the beauty of the stamping platform. Hopefully, if it doesn't move, if it moves, we're scuppered. Is it going to be two? Let's have a look first of all. You know, I'm going to go for Monarch. I'm just going to, just because I'm a little bit wary by the fact that we're actually using, I'm not bothered about it getting contaminated, because we're actually using an oval, and I know if it moves, I'm scuppered. I'm going to go for this darker purple. Lots of inking. If you're worried about your ink pad, just clean it off before you ink. But because I'm going on with the darker colour, I'm not worried. So, Monarch. A good old press. Now, as I said, this paper is kind of semi-coated. And so, it kind of, it allows you to actually stamp a better image without really trying. Having said that, this is a silhouette stamp. I haven't used it for a while, so I might have to go on a couple of times anyway. So I've got my die cutting machine on here. I forgot to move it. Don't move, don't move, don't move. Let's go in with the pokey tool. See if we can help it a little bit. Oh, look at that. That is perfect. I'm glad I went to that darker colour. I don't need to go on there again. Absolutely perfect. Okay. Let's clean that off. And then we'll bring in Callie herself. And she's going to come in down the bottom here. She's going to be reaching out towards that flower there. It's sometimes nice to work with a different shape rather than a square or a rectangle. And these dies are so pretty. So we're going to do Callie in black. You don't have to add colour to that if you don't want to. I probably will. And you can check on the thumbnail to see how I've coloured it in. And obviously, and I will definitely colour in, give Callie a bit of colour on her wings. And you will see with each of the flower fairies that their clothing reflects the flower that that's in the set. So Callie's skirt has got the same kind of petals and the little pollen bits on it that the flower has. It's very clever. And they're very, very different to the traditional flower fairies that we know from all the books as well. And there's something for all year round. Obviously poppies, we're looking towards summer, aren't we? Let's see, I'm going to grab that poker tool again to try and stop the oval from moving. And in fact, she's perfect as well. Honestly, this paper is just so good to stamp on. Forgive all the mess. I'm very, very frugal. I don't get a new one out all the time. So you'll see it properly when I take this off. Okay, so let's choose ourselves a sentiment. So we've got a nice big space up here now. We could go for a word or a little verse, and a little verse will actually fit in really nicely. I think I might go for you, actually. I think that might fit in quite nicely because that would cover any occasion. And if you've got some of the, if you've got some of the sentiment edges from Sentimentally Yours, you could add some of those around the outside, which would be quite nice. Haven't cut any, so we won't be doing that for you. I think that's straightish. Have a look on the camera. That looks straightish. So we'll do that in black as well. That's the Nocturne. And you will find re-inkers for all the colours of Versafine Claire in stock on my website now. So obviously, if you want to buy a new ink pad rather than re-ink, that's fine. But the re-inkers you can use them for multiple re-inking sessions. So you do make your ink pads go a lot further. There we go. Nice big bold for you. So I'm wondering whether to do a little bit more stamping. And I've taken my mask off now, which is a bit silly, really. But we'll see. Because what you could do is, because we've got this here, take this out of here, and I'll show you what it would look like. So line it up properly. Like so, and then that would go on there like that. I do really like that. I think that's really pretty. But I wonder whether to stamp something in the corners, because we have got this little stamp here, which we could stamp in each corner as well. So what we can do is, let's do that. Let's just do it. Instead of just talking about it, let's do it. So I'm going to grab a piece of low tap tape again. But I don't need the whole length. And we're going to just put it just here, like that. I'm sure that's big enough. Yes, and then I'm going to put a little bit on the other corner. And when we go into the stamping platform, we'll have this in one of the bottom corners so we can actually butt the stamping platform right up into the edge. Okay. Put it up there so it doesn't get damaged. Ignore my cat. My cat's fine. I can hear him. It's just fine. Okay, let's put one in each corner, and then we'll put just a couple here so they don't go anywhere. And then we're going to pop this just here. So when that comes on, it'll be just in the corners like that. Excuse me, frog. But we won't get anything on that lovely looped area. So we go back to Monarch again. Now this might take a couple of stampings because we're going onto the pure white card. We're not going onto the Fairy Hugs paper. This helps me keep it in place actually, which is quite handy. Let's give that a good old press. We might lose a tiny little bit of it within the border. Okay, that's one. Leave the stamp where it is. If I can get hold of this. I'm not going to use this again just in case I stick my fingers on that area there that's got ink on it. I quite like that. That's quite effective. And then we'll swing that round a little bit, and again butt that up into the corner. And we'll add a little bit of tape down here. In exactly the same way. I might not position the tape in exactly the same place. Hopefully it's straight though. Okay. And then we'll start the next one. Press. And I'm hoping that each time I stamp it, I get a good impression each first time. What I don't really want to do is have to stamp it a second time, because then I'll end up with one or more of them being darker than the other one. So give that ink a chance to settle in. Happy with that. Not as good as the first one, but it's still pretty good. You can see I stamp outside the page quite a bit. Okay, that's those. And then I'll do the same thing again. The stencil's really pretty in the background. You could, if you wanted to, you could just put a banner with a sentiment on it, or one of the sentiment edges from Sentiment of Yours just across there, and a couple of flowers, and that would be really pretty. But obviously we've got Callie on her topper, which is lovely too. Right, third one. Obviously fast forward this if you're bored. Sometimes it's good to see how it's built up rather than me saying, right, I'm going to go away and do this now. as it reveals, it's quite nice, I think. Okay, and then we've got this third one. Oh, that's such a lovely colour. I wish there were more colours actually in Versifying Clay. I think we could do some pastels, that would be really nice. But there are some inks that are very difficult to make pastel colours out of. I'm not sure if this is some of them, but it's definitely the best ink to stamp silhouette stamps with, in my opinion. Okay. So this is the third one. One more to go. Get a couple of magnets off. Give it a twirl into the corner. And remember to mask. It's really upsetting if you end up forgetting to do the last one and then you ruin the whole thing. I did used to have a dispenser for this that my friend Sue Wilson bought me years and years ago, but since I've moved house I can't find it. I'll put it safe somewhere. It's a bit of ink there that I've got. A bit of pink raspberry. Right, last one. Good old press. Take your time. Just because it's the last one, don't rush it. That there like that. Take the last bit of tape off. And we can fetch it out of here. So now our card will look like this. Obviously I'm not sticking it together because I'm going to add some colour to it. So we're going to pop that on there like that. Then this will come in here like so. And then Callie will go in the middle like that. You could also do a little border if you wanted to across there underneath. I think that would be quite nice too, but I'll straighten that up for you so you can see, and I'll hold it up as well. So like I say, I'm going to add a little bit of colour to it, probably bring in some more pinks into the flowers, and I'm going to colour in Callie's wings and her skirt as well. But I hope you've enjoyed that. So once again, we've used Callie's Poppy from the Fairy Hugs Flower Fairies. Ignore that. From the Flower Fairies, and you'll find that on my website juliawattscrafts.co.uk for shipping to UK addresses, and also at fairyhugs.com for shipping worldwide. Do like and subscribe my YouTube channel. I'll be super happy if you would do that, and check out the many videos that I've got on there. And it just leaves me to say thank you for watching.